Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. We're going to talk today about summer solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere, which is winter solstice in the Southern Hemisphere, and the full moon, which are on the same day. So, what I want to share with you very first is a chart of the Schumann resonance. I think many of you, especially those who are more sensitive, have felt it in this, generally this week. It is one day after the other that we are completely bombarded by energies that you can see here. I hope you can see now the chart. You see all these white spikes. This is light energy that is coming in. Usually it is just a more simple picture that is with the green. And these spikes, these are solar flares that are coming in. And I have two, so you see here this one, and then it is one day here is one day. This is 19, 18, 17. So it's going one day after the other, very strong flashes. And when we go forward, you see here are more, and then comes this one in also like a sword. And if you have also had maybe problems to sleep or even problems to eat, for example, I can hardly eat. I had just some milk kefir that I make myself, and I'm totally not hungry. And I had for later around noon, I had a cup of coffee with my shilajit inside and some nuts. I can even not look at food. It just kind of, I don't want to touch it. And I think there is so much energy coming in that our whole systems are overloaded. I had on Tuesday, I had a lot to do and I did not relax much. And I was about 6 o'clock in the evening. I was sitting, I was reading, and I just had to lay down. It was like somebody's knocking me out. I was so tired. Yesterday, I went at noon. I went to have, instead of having lunch, I went to have a little nap. That helped me very well to go through the day. And then I fell asleep, and then I wake up, fell asleep, wake up about 4 or 5 times this night. It's very, very interesting, that pattern that is happening in the moment. So this is also connected. And now I show you the chart, because we have in a moment such a very powerful energy that is happening, that is connected to us, that the shift, is it happening, is it not, is it going to happen in our lifetime, is it not? All these questions are coming in very strong from many people, and most people don't also understand about what it is really about, what the false matrix is and what we are doing. But now we're coming more close to understand what is happening. And as you can see here in this chart, we have a Sun in Gemini, Moon in Sagittarius constellation, with a very strong square going to Neptune. And Neptune also is in 12th house here. This is the world horoscope that I make for the 0-degree meridian. So we can see that it's a little bit like, see that all the planets that are here still clustered. You might remember the last chart that we had was very clustered together. So this is a very, very strong energy. And again, it is not really the energy. We are part of it all. It's not that just from outside. The same thing, what we see in the stars, is happening within us. It's like macrocosmos is similar like microcosmos. We are part of all, or you can say we are part of the hologram. When I change myself or whatever I do within my possibilities, it changes the whole. And this is what is important to understand, because this is the key how we can move forward and how we can change things in a way also faster. So about the ascension and all the shift, what happening, it depends on humanity. It depends how fast you move away from the fallen matrix and you stop repeating the patterns. you know, we are so brainwashed into these slave patterns to behave in a certain way, to believe a certain thing. You know, here we come to the point, I can only see what I believe. If there are things out there, I don't believe they exist. I don't see them, even if they exist and other people can see them. So our whole awareness and everything has to shift now, and this is so clear here in this chart. Now the sun is coming in Gemini, and this is in the 3rd house here, which is actually the house that is moving, that is the house of Gemini, the communication together with Venus and Mercury, then with Moon in the 9th house, which we can say the 9th house is connected with the higher self. I explained that many times that Sagittarius, also the goal, what we have here, is the house of the priest, the priestess. And the priest is the pontifex, the bridge builder, the one who built the bridge into the next reality. So we can say that actually priest, a real pontifex is a medium, is somebody that is transparent and not so settled in the ego and in the mind that he or she can hear the voices or the messages that are coming in from other realms, and that can be different things that are coming in a positive and in a negative way. So those intuition, the whispering intuition, it depends very much where our consciousness level is, and on that consciousness level, negative or positive, we receive also from the other side of the veil the informations that are coming through. So we have also to be very, very careful with mediums, because a lot of people, and I tell you, the internet is full of messages in the moment about what's going to happen. I don't believe that we know what is going to happen. It depends very much on the consciousness level and the moving forward of humanity. One thing that when I was meditating about that came very clear, and it was about the coming back of the Christ, and not talking about the person of Jesus, the consciousness of Christ that is coming like a thief in the night. So we have to be ready, and we have to ready ourselves. And if one person is ascending, that does not mean that the whole is ascending, because now we have the possibilities, because the false matrix that has already fallen, you can step out and you can move in a consciousness higher, and you can already experience the divine matrix. The more slowly you move inside, the more you will see that certain things in the outside world that are from a lower consciousness level are being removed from you, or from your world, or wherever you live. It's very hot here. I'm tripping. So we can see this is a tension. Now, the full moon in generally always is tension. And it is so beautiful when we see also from the solstice. On one side, it's the longest night, on the other side, it's the longest day. And this is the polarity that we live in. And I'm not talking about duality. Duality is the system that judges. On duality, on top, we write good and bad, and then is judgment. If we talk about polarity, it is nature. Like when we are in existence, that means we have stepped out of unity into existence. And existence, this is the polarity, otherwise we couldn't experience, we couldn't see. We cannot live and have any experience outside of polarity. But this has nothing to do with good and bad. And darkness has also nothing to do with being bad. You cannot say the night is bad and the day is good. As you can also not say breathing in is good and breathing out is bad. But breathing in is from the positive energy, is active breathing in. Letting go, breathing out is negative. So we move beyond judgment, and we can see here that Neptune is now with this triangle here, with this tension here, is now dissolving patterns. And I know a lot of people that are in the moment in very extreme situations, we can say, difficult situations. And in this moment, when we have the light and the dark so completely separated, like at noon when the shadow is the most dark, you know, the more sun, the more darker, the more light, the darker the shadow, sorry. And this is the situation we're in now, and this is what you can see, the whole world, what is coming out, what is visible in the moment, what is coming and hit us all very strong. And this polarity of the yin and the yang, of the positive and the negative energies, and also in a further step, when we look into the false matrix that has been kind of overlay the divine matrix, because we still have a connection to the divine matrix, otherwise we wouldn't be alive. But the false matrix has those in the false matrix who have done that, they have pulled our life energy and they have used us as the food for their false matrix. We can say that's the engineering of the false matrix. It's all the mechanical, the technical stuff that does not have life. And we have been pulled into that and pulled into our head away from our heart. And you might know that we have also brain cells in the heart, and not just in the heart, actually in the whole body. Every cell in our body has a consciousness. And now we are now seeing this in the light. We can see, and it doesn't again matter if you're in the south or in the northern hemisphere. It is the constellation that brings this polarity to the surface. When you are in the night, you can see the light. When you're in the light, there is many things you cannot see because the light is too strong. So again, it both has a positive and a negative side. Again, it's about polarity. Now, what is really significant here is this Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces and is here, and we can, and also like we have the ruler Mercury in Gemini in his own sign, and we have the moon, who is a water sign, just in the beginning of Sagittarius in a fire sign. So the moon is actually the active part that is pushing us into maybe uncomfortable position to see things that we otherwise don't look at. And this is also Venus, Mercury, and the Sun all together, means that the communication that is happening now, it is not just a communication from person to person, from personality or ego to ego, but there is a communication from, we can say, the whole of who you are. And actually, a good sample of that I had written in my astrology book, like you might, I have said that before, it's like you as a personality are like a squeezed out bubble of a bigger balloon. And you all know this, people do that for the kids, right? So your little bubble that is connected to the big balloon here is part of the consciousness that when you die, or what we call death, it's just like that bubble goes back into the whole balloon, it becomes whole again. And when we consider from this perspective that all these other balloon parts that were your personalities, or maybe even will be, because there is no time in a higher realm, are now coming together to ascend, together to realign themselves. All the cells within us as a sample, all the personalities we've ever have been, are being realigned to the higher consciousness, to the light. And in the moment we are realigned to the higher consciousness, the negativity, that what was not from the divine right matrix, will fade away. It's like we forget, like you might suddenly remember things from the past, but not anymore the really negative things. They are coming up in a moment to resolve, to make peace with, and then they're gone. This is the same like when the timelines are splitting with this constellation here, that part of humanity with a lower consciousness level, as I also explained in a different blog, they are moving into another timeline, and we forget each other, because it's like the radio stations that once you switch from one radio station to the other, you don't hear the other anymore. And this is what is happening now, and this is a slow process, and some people are still on the old train station, and some people are already in the new train station, where afterwards the timeline split again, as it was with the Project Looking Glass, that they could not do anything. They tried, the cabal, they tried as good as they can to interfere, that this is not going to happen. But all the timelines have come together to one. So we're all at one train station. That's the best I can explain it. And now there are two ways in different dimensions that we are going. And depending on your consciousness level, you go A or B. And this is not either good or bad, because we are both A and B. It is now going into a divine matrix. The false matrix has fallen. And those with the false matrix, as I understand it, okay, but maybe this is not so, they will move to a complete different timeline, or they will even be absorbed again into the energy of the divine. Their personality is being deleted. So what is happening on this solstice? You can see here with the red lines, the tension, but at the same time, it is a healing. It is a healing process that is going on, that requires our creativity, that requires us to see that we can let go, that we can move on into the different dimensions. Let me stop sharing quickly here, and let's have. Okay, here I'm back. I wanted to find that picture for you that I can share it. That is much more easy to understand. I hope you can see it now. So all the timelines have come together in the now, slowly, one after the other. And here we are now. We are here. And then the next step, this is like this is the big main train station. And there are two trains waiting, or two trains going in and out. And one is in the fifth dimension, one is in the fourth dimension. And we can say that the planet Earth is also with us in the fifth dimension. And the others who move into the fourth dimension, they're going also in another dimension. And this is probably an event that will trigger the mass that this is happening. So now there are individuals who are already going, and from there, once we are in the next train station, there are again timelines are splitting again. And from here, people have again a personal choice and different choice to do things, to go forward. And I think what is really, really important here, that we understand that this is neither good nor bad. This is just the choice that you have. And it is the easiest again to explain, like when you have kids in the kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and so on, and they're still going to school, or they might all together here are the schools. And some people at university, they go up here. This is the university. So it has something to do with the consciousness level, but everybody will go into a divine matrix according to their consciousness level, so you can move forward from where you are. It doesn't make any sense when you take out the first grade and put them in the university. that kid would not understand what was going on. So this is why this is so important to understand this, because once we understand that, we can let go of all the anxiety, because the consciousness level of the planet has moved up so high that it's not that nobody's going to hell. Okay, hell is not something, hell is not an option. So once we move forward in that timeline and we have kind of earned this, then people will, in an organic and divine matrix, move forward. And Neptune is here, the tension of Neptune, what it is because we don't see it. It is like we are on that road, but we cannot see around the bend. And this is the difficulty. So we have to trust. Now, who is the messenger? Is the moon in Sagittarius, and the goal is the Sagittarius here, which is the most important message for that chart. That when we communicate with our feelings, with the moon, when we go into the heart, Venus, that is in the half sun between Mercury and the Sun, if we use the heart brain cells to move forward and communicate with that part within ourselves, we will find healing. We will find our energies coming back to norm. Now we have Mars exactly on the AC. That means that our energy is rising again. New energy is rising, because we have also Uranus here in the first house, which is very important. Uranus Aquarius is connected with that, what we call the higher self or the divine self. And then Jupiter here in Taurus, also still in first house. Through that process of moving forward, we materialize the next steps that are happening for us. And we materialize them in a way without seeing them yet, but with the energy and with the feeling of who we are. That's it. So that is the most important message that we have in the moment. And this is so, it's beautiful in a way when you look at it. It's not that we have to wait another lifetime to move forward. It's happening now. So I hope this helps a little bit. Now balance that. Be careful what you eat. Be careful what you do. Be good to yourself, and get a lot of rest and drink a lot of water. Okay, I see you in my next reading. Go to my blog. I have much more information there. Thank you for watching, and thank you for giving me a thumbs up. See you again. Bye-bye.